So this is going to be my last shot talking about this theory. I think this was a theory that I wouldn't say I per se started, but I definitely was the first person to cover this idea on YouTube, and that's the idea of Xigbar or Braig being tied to the Master of Masters. Are they the same person or not? Is he possessed by the Master of Masters? And of course, could he potentially be the Master of Masters at the end of the Xehanort saga? And this is going to be my final take before Kingdom Hearts 3 is released to talk about, of course, this idea, and finally give you guys my thoughts on how I think the next saga will be ushered in. So, unlike popular belief, I've started to believe that the Master of Masters is not connected to Kingdom Hearts, but created Keyblades to begin a war that would destroy its guardian, the X-Blade. The destruction of the X-Blade left Kingdom Hearts vulnerable to the darkness, swallowing it and ending the age of fairy tales. This meant the end of the one world and its inhabitants, so the Master devised a plan to survive the Keyblade War. This idea is supported by his claim to Era. They must think not of the world they know will disappear, but what will come after said world. So sealing off his heart in the black box and remaining in close proximity to it, of course, to remain conscious. We saw this in Kingdom Hearts 1 with Kairi's body, in which when Sora got close to her body, of course, she started to react to any kind of command. I mean, she didn't, of course, get up and start moving around, but we did know that Sora did ask, of course, Kairi to show him a sign that she was okay, and she moved her hand, and that was due to the fact that her heart was so close to her body. Or, of course, he reverted his body to a nobody form, similar to how Xemnas and Ansem, of course, being under direct influence of Master Xehanort's will. So, of course, we know that Xemnas still have the memories of Terra in him somewhere because he talks to Aqua's armor and calls it his friend. And, of course, he's also been looking for Ventus's body because that's his friend. And, of course, the reason for that is due to the fact that he's influenced by Terra, but at the same time, too, he's influenced by Master Xehanort, but Master Xehanort more so than Terra. His nobody would go on to lead the foretellers into destruction, and this is what we see in, of course, Kingdom Hearts back cover, but not before giving someone a secret role and passing on his Keyblade and requiring them to also don a black coat. So this would explain where the black coats come from, because of course the Master of Masters has been reverted to a nobody, or similar to like Ansem, he's reverted himself to a heartless kind of form, in which is just his heart running around. But of course, I believe that his heart is within the black box, and of course, due to that fact, that would leave none other than his nobody, who was being heavily influenced by, of course, the Master of Masters. So, for the next 100 years, the Master would lie in wait in Radiant Garden, using the information he had in the Book of Prophecies to intercept none other than our boy, Master fucking Xehanort. See, the nobody I mentioned earlier is none other than Xigbar. He is the nobody of the Master of Masters. And before you start typing how I am wrong because Braig had a heart in Dream Drop Distance, it should be noted one of the revelations made within the exact same game, Dream Drop Distance, is that nobodies do not need the power of Kingdom Hearts to grow new hearts. And a detail that I think will also play into this idea, though admittedly wasn't planned, but admittedly I do think that it does play into this idea, is guess who recruited Marluxia into the Organization 13? Xigbar, something that may be revealed to be due to the Master knowing which individuals would replace the foretellers. So, of course, if the Master of Masters told Master Ava exactly who to give the Book of Prophecies to, and if it was Strelitzia, in fact, that it was given to, then, of course, there's a potential possibility he also knew about Marluxia and the other members, meaning Ventus, Brain, I hate that fucking name, and, of course, I forgot her name, Skull. Yeah. This also explained their similar quirks, but the difference in stature. And how I think we will be segued into the next saga is by the reveal of who Braig is and the opening of the black box, returning the concealed heart of the original Master of Masters to the body of Braig, erasing his character and cutting the last threads to Master Xehanort. So we do know that Tetsuya Nomura has stated that at the end of this game, of course, there won't be any ways for Master Xehanort to return. return. And whether or not he means that for Master Xehanort to return to prominence as the villain, whether or not, of course, he will see the error of his ways and cease to be a villain, or whether or not he will be killed off, is something that we're not 100% certain of. Of course, though, thinking about it, someone like the Master of Masters coming into the damn picture, I would think that obviously he would probably keep him alive just because of all the information he knows and the different abilities for the Keyblade and stuff like that. I think that it would be smart to probably keep Master Xehanort alive in some way, form, or fashion. Even if it means, of course, he have to be taken into Sora's heart and be stuck in that form. Of course, it's just a heart within Sora, who kind of, I guess you could say, puts Sora through the same kind of shit that Ansem puts Riku through. I think that that would be a cool way to, of course, keep Master Xehanort around, but we do know 100% he will not rise to prominence again as the villain of the series. And I think that, of course, the way we're going to get segued is that at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, and I think that this is what the secret ending may actually entail, is, of course, Braig will possibly find the black box, or the black box will be opened close to Braig, potentially by someone, potentially even Lushu. He may get told by the Master of Masters in his head or something like that to finally open the black box, and when he does open the black box, the heart will go to Braig and essentially take over his body, corrupting him and killing off the heart and stuff that he grew as a nobody of the Master of Masters, and he will revert back to his original form, becoming the Master of Masters. And this also means that Master Xehanort's heart would be destroyed as well. We know the organization wants to find the black box in Kingdom Hearts 3. Nomura confirmed that the black box will be open, but of course Lushu was told by the Master of Masters to not open it. Of course, he made him promise he wouldn't open it, and then he would tell him what was in the black box. And if you remember, he was very shook about what the hell the Master of Masters told him. And the Master of Masters told him that when the time comes for the box to be open, he didn't state this verbatim, but he did tell him when the time comes for the box to be open, he'll see it. He'll see exactly what's within the box and why it's being opened. And he said this with a sinister, he said this with a sinister demeanor about him. He clenched his hand and he told him, "You'll see." So pretty much, it does seem like that possibility is there. And, that's really like my final thoughts on, of course, why, Braig and the Master of Masters seem so alike. And I do believe that, of course, when Braig states he has his hands tied with his own plans, it's because he's being influenced by who he used to be. So to grow his own heart would mean that he would kind of essentially become his own individual person. But of course, he will always still be influenced by the Master of Masters and who he was, especially with how strong of a will he had. He was strong enough that he was able to pull Keyblades out of other people, kind of similar to what Riku was able to do with Kairi. And I think that the reason why he mocks Master Xehanort's plans within the new Kingdom Hearts Recoded cutscene for the Kingdom Hearts 2.5 remix is because his ambitions and goals may be bigger than just simply bringing equilibrium to the universe. It may have something to do entirely with like destroying the entire world, or potentially, of course, getting past the Keyblade so that way he can get the Kingdom Hearts and have the ultimate power and become essentially like a true god. Maybe he's one of the only beings in some special way, and of course that we'll find out later on, that can actually ascend to that god status that Master Xehanort mentions. Or maybe, of course, he probably knows something about Kingdom Hearts that other people do not know, and he wants the destruction of Kingdom Hearts. So who knows exactly what the hell he wants, but I do think that that's going to wrap up the video for today. I think that the Master of Masters truly, and like for real, this is my final thoughts on why I think the Master of Masters and Braig are so much alike, what I think Braig's own plans are within Kingdom Hearts 3, in which it doesn't seem like he wants to go through 100% with what was said by, or what was going to happen to, of course, the rest of the 13 Seekers. And of course, he's always been big about, like, the whole traitor thing to the organization, and I feel like it would be interesting for his character to actually be a traitor this entire fucking time. So thank you guys for tuning into the video. This is me, boy Amaziah. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section below. I tried to make this as compelling as possible, but of course I may have, falling short in some areas, and that's why I like to get into the comments below, because usually people try and like, you know, tell me about the holes in my theories, and then of course I can actually like, you know, fill them in the comment section. So if you witness any kind of holes in the theory, then of course let me know in the comment section below. Or if you want to add your own kind of theory to something like this, then of course put it in the comment section below. Usually I pin my own comment, but once I find a comment and stuff that's actually really something that's really thought-provoking, I usually make it the pinned comment because I want other people to see it as well. So that's how I like to keep my discussions going on the channel. This has been your boy Amaziah. Don't forget to do a little A-class gaming, and everything you do, don't forget to keep it A-class, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, man.
Should I take a deep faith? Should I take a leap? Taste